Hi, friends, and welcome back to Teachers Learning Lounge with Jody. I'm so happy you're here today because I want to talk about something that college never prepared us for, and that is how to have hard conversations with important people at our work, with parents, with administrators, with our colleagues. And sometimes we hesitate to have these conversations, or we even avoid it altogether. But here's the truth. Avoiding these conversations doesn't make the situation easier. It actually makes it larger and more problematic. The good news is that there are research-backed strategies that can help each of us have hard conversations with clarity, with confidence, and where both you and your colleague, parent, or administrator can leave having respect with one another. So in this kickoff video, I'm going to share some core strategies that you can use with anyone and give you a checklist for what you should and shouldn't include. Number one, there are universal strategies for having conversations, and I want to break this down into A, B, C, D, and E. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to prepare before we speak. Before you have a difficult conversation, you need to first reflect on what the goal is. What is the outcome you're hoping for? If it's to just tell somebody off, then you need to be able to answer to yourself, well, is that what my goal was? To just be able to express my feelings, or was I really looking for a resolution? So the question that I would suggest asking yourself is, what is my goal for this conversation? What is important to me or for our school team or for the students? And then what I would suggest doing in this preparation phase is to gather pieces of evidence, not feelings, but evidence. Stay focused on the facts more than judgment or how you feel. The third thing to consider in the preparation phase is how you think the other person is going to respond. What do you think that they could express? And then you can practice responding calmly. Studies on workplace and educational communication show that preparation increases confidence, it reduces defensiveness, and it improves outcomes. And that is from Hard Conversations from Abrams 2021. Second, enter the difficult conversation by sharing with your colleague a shared purpose. State first what the goal is. I am looking to build a stronger team. I am looking for us to really commit to strengthening our school mission. So start the conversation around something that you and the other person have a belief in, or something you both can get behind, a shared interest, and this will reduce defensiveness. So you could start a conversation like this. So Lisa, I wanted to meet with you today so that we could talk a little bit about Trevor. And I know that you and I both want Trevor to succeed, and I want to talk about how you and I can make that happen together. The third strategy to consider is to use observations, not accusations. So describe what you see. You could start by saying, well, I noticed that, rather than you always. And you could also say, this affects me, or this affects blah, 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 blah. It would also be important to focus on the impact. This affects our work, or this affects the student. Focusing on objective observations rather than blame reduces conflicts, and it keeps the conversation productive. Fourth, have the courage to invite dialogue and collaboration. I suggest offering open questions. Can you help me understand your perspective? What do you think about this? Tell me about the lens through which you see the situation. Co-create then solutions rather than demanding them. You could ask the question, what strategies do you think would work? What do you think our next step should be in a united fashion? Fifth, anytime we have a difficult conversation, it's important that we follow up and have accountability. I always like to bring a pad of paper and a pen and write down what our next steps are and ask if I can share those with the with my colleague. And I think this is really good so that we can check on what's working and adjust when needed. And this step also can ensure that the conversation leads to meaningful change. And that is why we have the conversations. We don't like the way things are going and we want different outcomes. So to wrap up this piece, there are universal strategies that work. Part 2, what to include and what to avoid. So here is a quick to do and not to do checklist for having hard conversations. First, what you should do, have a clear statement and a shared purpose or goal. Number 2, have evidences of examples to support your points. 3, use I statements and focus on impact. Use open questions to invite dialogue. Create shared solutions. What are our next steps going to be? Follow up with a plan. So how are we going to be accountable for each other for the better outcome? Here are the things that I suggest you avoid. Blame. Don't say you always or you never language during your conversation. Don't be vague. Don't give vague complaints without examples. Public confrontation in front of others never works. It's so much more effective to talk one-on-one where people don't have to defend themselves or their character in front of other people. Avoid overgeneralizations or assumptions without purpose. Avoid ending without a clear plan. So think of hard conversations as coaching, not confrontation. Your goal is mutual understanding and your goal is problem solving. We're looking for a better outcome than what we currently have. So here is our challenge for the week. Identify one conversation that you've been avoiding. Use preparation strategies to reflect on your goal and what you want the outcome to be. Plan to open the conversation with a shared purpose statement and bring a checklist so you know what to include and what to avoid. In our next 3 episodes, we're going to dive deeper into specific strategies on how to have hard conversations with parents, how to have hard conversations with colleagues, and last, how to have hard conversations with your administrators. I will be sharing examples for starters, reflections, and for some follow-up tools. Thank you so much for joining me today on our Teachers Learning Lounge channel. I look forward to having a deeper dive into how to have these harder conversations with people that really matter around us, because at the end of the day, we want the best experience for our students. And sometimes it's having those hard conversations that really help us navigate into the waters to create that success. If you found this helpful, please hit like and subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.